Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Dave Adams, and this is the final tutorial video for this course. And we're going to design a website. So let's get right into Visual Studio Code and start something. To make things fast, I'm going to use this nav bar that I did in the previous video. So we're just going to tweak it a bit, and then we're just going to go with it. So here we have the font family being Sego UI. But I quickly want to demonstrate how to get fonts for free online. So we're going to use Google Fonts. Now, in Google Fonts, the fonts that we need are going to be Montserrat and Poppins. So I have Montserrat right here. And to add these fonts, I just have to select what I need. So basically all the straight fonts, because I'm not going to need the italic ones. So the regular fonts, semi-bold, bold, extra bold, and black. Yes. So that's for Montserrat. So basically everything is generated here for us. All we have to do is to copy, link. If you want to go with the link, that goes into your HTML file. If you use the @imports, that goes into your CSS. And since we have a dedicated CSS file, we're not going to copy these the style tags as well. So now I'm going to go into my CSS, and right beneath my general styling comment, I'm going to paste this, and I'm going to go back into my browser to specify get the text that specifies the font family. And so I'm going to specify that for my headings, I want Poppins. So H2, comma, space, H3, comma, space, H4, comma, space, H5, comma, space, H6. So for all these elements, I want the font family to be Poppins. I'm going to change it later on. Now that I'm done, I'm going to remove all these styles, and now I'm going to search for Poppins. So Poppins is right here. So I'm going to do the same. Select all the regular fonts. So basically the thin, extra light all just stand for the what we call the font width. The font weight, sorry. So basically just how thick or thin the font is. So now that I have what I need, I'm going to do the same thing and just copy the link that I need. Import, because I'm going to paste it in my CSS file. So back into Visual Studio Code. Now I can paste it here, and then I'm going to also copy the style rule that specifies the font family, and that is actually what I want to go here. So for this one, I'm going to cut it from here and then probably paste it here and make this body. Now for the asterisks, what this means is for every element. So now what I want to do with this is I want to make the margin 0. I just want to reset everything because by default every element has its own margin and padding. So now that we have all of that out of the way, our font has changed. We have some nice fonts. I'm going to quickly go into my developer tools. In the previous video, we made a responsive nav bar. So that is exactly what is happening, but there's something weird happening. So I just want to fix that, and then we'll be good to go. Nav bar now has a width of 100. Okay. What do I want to do? Box sizing, border box. Yes. Okay. So what I just did with box size, and what this means is how you want your divs to be sized. So basically, this by default is content box. And what content box does is, if you place an element within and the element exceeds the width of the parent, it just adds up to the width of the parent. So it goes beyond the boundaries of the parent, and the parent expands to accommodate that child. But when you do border box, what this means is the width of the child or whatever is contained within the parent is subtracted from the total width of the parent. So it makes everything fit perfectly. Now that we have our navbar sorted out, I think I'm just going to change this to services, because today we are actually doing a portfolio site. I failed to mention. I'm sorry about that. So here we're going to use a hash or a pound sign. Here I'm going to do a pound sign, and I'm going to say services. So basically, I'm going to create a section with the ID services. So anytime you click on the link, it's going to scroll down to that particular section. And I'm also going to do contact right here. Yeah. So this is our navigation bar, and we're done with that. So now I'm going to create a hero section. So basically what I'm doing now is just commenting to demarcate the various sections of the code so that anyone who reads through will understand. That's a good practice to have also exercise. So now I'm going to create a div, or let me just go with section. So you can use a section, a div, main. Yeah, so the ID is going to be hero. So there's a shortcut to create a section with an ID hero. Now I'm going to create a div. In the previous video, I talked about a container and its function, basically just to format the text from hitting the end. So this navbar has the text content within a container, and the container I specified to have a width of 80%, which is right here, and a max width of 1536 px. So let's go back into our hero. What do I want to do? I want to have two sides of the hero. I think for the hero section, I would want my background to be black. So I'm going to call the ID here by using the ID symbol, which is a pound, and then I'm going to say background black. Now black has the hex code of hash and 3 zeros, or you can actually explicitly type black, and that will also appear. That will also work. So within our container, I want to do a flex div, and I also want to specify. I also want to create two divs. I won't want to have a width of 70%, so I'm just going to call the class 70. So let me just create two for the time being, and then I'll basically change this one to 30. So in my CSS file, I'm going to call the class with its symbol, which is the period, and I'm going to do width 70, and I'm going to specify that the width be 70% of its parent. So I can copy this by highlighting and using Ctrl+C, and then I can select the next occurrence of the 7 and make it 3, and I would have created my two divs. So I think my first 70% div is going to contain some text. So I'm going to do an H1 and basically just introduce myself. I am Dave. So you can place your name here, and here I'm going to place an image, which I have in my image folder. So image of me. So alt text, basically its function is to give an alternate text anytime the image does not display. So I'm going to select the image for my folder, and that image is hero.png. So we have that image right here. I'm going to give my my hero section some padding. So padding on the top and the bottom. So padding for the top and bottom, I think 40px will do. And for the left and right, I can just leave a 0, and that will do as well. So you can see that I have the image appear right here, and I am Dave did not appear because the background is black, and by default the text color is also black. So now I'm going to select that particular text. Let me try to give it a class so it stands out, because I might use another H1 and that may not be good. So hero text is a good class name because it's kind of descriptive and self-explanatory. So now I can do, let me undo this, right? I can do hero text. And what do I want to be applied to the hero text? I want the color to be white. So you can do a triple F, or you can use the actual name. So this is an H1 element. I think I want the font size to be a little bigger. So I'm just going to copy this because I might apply something else. So basically what this means is an H1 with the class of hero text, and I think I can take this out because it's kind of redundant. I want the font size to be 60px. Yes. So basically I have my text. I am Dave is not enough. So I am a web developer. Basically my tagline as for my portfolio site. So basically telling my visitors what the site is about or who I am. I think I'm also going to give this a flex just so I can do something with it. So now I'm going to do width 70 and flex. So the same element has these two classes. So there's a difference. If you leave a space, what this means is the element which has a class of width 70, contains an element with a class of flex. But when you clear the space, what this means is the same element has these two classes. So I'm going to do a flex property. So align items. Because the flex by default is in a horizontal alignment, I'm going to use align items to vertically align my text. And you can see that basically it's been aligned. So just to demonstrate something, I think I'm going to give the body a height of 2000 pixels so we can scroll. My keyboard is messing up. So 2000px. Yes. Okay. So this navbar isn't fixed, but so I just wanted to test that out. Now that we have our hero section down, I think that's not all I want to do here. H3 with a class of hero text as well, so that is also white. So what are we going to say? I am a web developer. So I build beautiful websites that draw clients to your business. So just a catchy tagline to get customers. Oh, I forgot. So I made this a flex, right? So I'm just going to place this in another div. So the flex is applied to the div and not directly to the text. Right. So we have our text. I'm a web developer. Yes. So for the H3, right, I want the size to be a little bigger as well. Maybe 24 will do. So I can change this. So basically, web development has a lot of duplication and editing, because that's a smart way of doing it. If you want to manually type out everything, it will not help. I can promise you that. So 600 will do, I think. And that's how thick or thin I want the font to be. So let's just try 400 and let's see what happens to this text. So you can see it's thin. And I think that one will be better. So finally, I'm going to place a button to link this section to the next one. So button, but before the button, I want to actually wrap the button around, a link tag or the A tag around the button. So I can do explore here. And for the button, I want to give it a class of hero button. So hero btn is also good. And here I said for the nav links, I did services, right? So I also want to link the button to services. So let's see what's happening. We have a white, but I don't want it to be that way. So what I want is to select the hero button class. Now I want the border. I want the hero button class to have a border of 1px solid white. I kind of want the button to be transparent, so 1px solid white will do. I want the background to be none. So let's see how that goes. Yes, so the text isn't appearing. So I want to make the color white, and that's the text color. Now I want the button to have some padding, so it looks better. So I want it to have a top and bottom padding of 10px and maybe 30px on the sides, on the left and right side. So let's see how that looks. And maybe I want to adjust the font size as well. Maybe make it 16. I think 16 will work. I think I'd want to increase that size a bit. So we have that as well. I also want to give it a margin top, so there's separation between the text and the button. So let's try 20px and let's see how that goes. Yes, I think I'm satisfied with what is happening. So let me quickly wrap this in a div as well. So hero btn holder. That's quite long, so I'm just going to copy it. And in fact, all I wanted to do was to give it a flex. Okay, let me also add that class. So going into CSS, I'm just going to reference that class by using the symbol as we always do. And I'm going to use justify content to center the button horizontally. And you can see that we have a centered button now. So now we can move on to the next section, which will be our services section. So I can minimize this using this on the side. So I'm just going to copy this as well. Maybe clear the text within and change all these occurrences to services. I got the spelling wrong. Services. Yes. Now that we have that, obviously we're going to need our container as usual, just to format our content. This time, I think I'll go with the same. I think I shouldn't have cleared everything here. I can just copy this and this as well. So I'm going to use these items as well. Maybe I'm going to swap them out because I want the image to be on the left and the text to be on the right. Yes. So for my image, I'm going to use the services. I thought I did the services. I did about instead. Wow. Okay. I did about instead. So going into my CSS, I failed to specify that these bunch of comments are for the hero section. So I'm just going to copy this quickly, and right underneath this, I'm going to paste that comment here and do services section, just to tell myself or anybody who's going to access this code that the services section styling starts from this point. So we have our services section right here. I think I want to target this image. I want to give it a class of service image. And I'm quickly going to copy this because I'm going to need it in my CSS. CSS image. No, I forgot the symbol, which is the period. We select a class, and for the image, I want the width to be 100%. So basically, I don't want it to exceed its parent. And you can see that that has been applied. Now, for my services section, I want a low distinction between its content and the hero section. So I want to apply some padding to the top and the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. So padding for top and bottom should be 40px, and the left and right can be 0. I think 40px isn't enough. Let me just do 100 and see how that looks. Yes. And I think we have our image right there. Now for our 70% side, what do I want to do? I think I want to create 4 divs because I actually want to showcase something. But before that, I want to do an H1, and I'm going to specify, I'm going to say that this is the services section. Services. Good. So I can use a class 1 ID. let me go ahead and ID, say service heading. Okay. So I can copy this, paste, edit, and I'm good to go. I want to make the font size 40px for starters. And I also want to align the text in the center because it looks like it's on the left side. So I'm going to specify that I want it to be aligned in the center. And I also want it to have a margin bottom so it's a bit spaced out from the image and the text. So margin bottom, maybe this time 40px will do. Good. So now we have our services section. And I think I'd want to make this 40 and 60 instead. Let's see how it goes. So obviously I want to do this. I just want to change these occurrences to 60. Copy and paste again. So this will be 40. Okay. So now we have a bigger image. And so what I wanted to do in my flex, because it has a horizontal arrangement at the moment, I'm going to take that as a row and I want to create 4 divs. So I'm going to do a width 25 and I'm going to multiply by 4. And let's see. So I've created 4 divs. I want them to have 25% width of their parent, which is the 60% div. And what do I want to call them? I want to call them services, maybe services cards. Oh no. Service cards. Yeah, service cards will be a good class to use. Yes. So let me just come down here and do my service cards. But I quickly want to do with 25 as well. Now the reason why I did with 25 was because I want 4 equally sized elements. And obviously 100 divided by 4 is 25. So I want my width to be 25%. There's a little math in HTML and CSS. So okay. So maybe service card service card holder, just for this parent div that is going to hold our service cards. So the reason why I've selected that div is because I want it to have some padding. So my period and then my curly braces, just to do some padding. I think this time I want the padding to be on the left and the right side. So 40px. It seems like today 40px is the order of the day. So for our service cards, we want an all-round padding of 40px yet again. So in this, so you can either specify for padding and margin, you can specify 1 unit and it's going to affect all 4 sides, or you can do top and bottom, you can specify two. And the first one is going to handle top and bottom. The second one is going to do left and right. Or you can handle in the individual sides, and it goes in a clockwise direction starting from the top. So it's going to be top right, bottom is going to be the same as the top, of course, and then the left. And that's how it goes for padding and margin. So we have our service cards, and for my service cards, what do I want to happen? Let me do this in a smart way. So I'm going to use Control D to select the occurrences. I'm going to specify my image, maybe icon, right? And now I want to select my image. Oh no, that's what I want to do. I interchanged the stuff. So icon should go into my alternative text or my alternative attribute instead. And my source should be image. There are some SVGs that I used. So arrow. So I'll just quickly change them. So arrow quality. What did I do? Time. And then I did satisfaction. So let's see how they look. Wow. Obviously, I have to specify their width. So I'm going to use service cards. Now, the service cards contain images. So I'm going to do service card. So if you hover over it, it shows that the service card contains an image, and I've spaced them out. So for the images, I want them to obey their parent. I want them to have a width of 100%. As for the height, the height will auto adjust. And there we go. So let me see what is going on here. We have our services section, we have our container, we have our services heading, we have our width, and we have our yes. So what's happening is I was supposed to place the two divs, which are the width 60 and the width 40 in a flex parent. So now I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to do flex. And now I can place my stuff there. And I should expect that everything be side by side. So what do I want to do now? I think what I wanted to do, or the idea, was to have some text by the image. Okay. So what I want to do is to select my image tag, create a div called card image, and paste it right here. Card image. And I also want it to have a flex. So obviously I don't want my cards to be, the card images to be 100% again, because I want them to have a title side by side. Maybe even 30 would do, or 20. 20 should do. Or maybe I should just specify the width by pixels. So I use 40 pixels yet again. I don't know why I keep using 40 pixels today, but it seems like the best number in my head. 20 pixels is too small. So maybe 30. 30 would be perfect. Okay. So let's go with 30 for now. And yeah. I'm going to do the same to all my So card image dot flex. So I'm creating all this. I'm going to select my image here as well. Create card image. No, I got the spelling wrong. So card image dot flex. So it's going to create a div with these two classes. And yeah, card image dot flex. And now I can paste my image right there. So since this has a flex, I'm going to be smart about this and then select this. And by the image, I want to have some text. So quality. And let's see how it appears. Good. So for my service card, or my card image div, which I'm going to select here, card image, I want to make the align items center. So I want my text and my images to be vertically centered. Now I can do card image. Yeah, I also want the font size to be a bit bigger. Maybe 20px will do. Yes. And probably I want it to be bold as well. So font weight 600. Yeah, I think this looks better now. And after that, I just want to place some dummy text. P. Okay. So I'm going to do this as well. D. Yeah. I'm going to do a P, which is a paragraph. And I wanted to have a class of card paragraph. Good. Now within my card paragraph, I want some dummy text, maybe a paragraph of 30 words. Right. Okay. It seems like 25 is too thin. So what do I want to do? I'm basically going to change the width to 50 because I want it to wrap. So 50. Okay. I think on if it's 2 cards in a row, that'll be better. So I'm going to clear this. Quickly go into my CSS. Also create a style for cards with width 50. So as we normally do, Control D5, and we're good to go. Right. Did I do that well? Okay, so I did do that well. Now I want to attach my service card holder. And I want to say flex wrap. Let's see if it wraps. It does wrap. It does actually wrap. Now, as I did earlier, I want my service cards to have a box sizing of border box. I don't want them to go beyond their actual width. And as you can see, we do have a correctly styled set of cards. Why does it have Why are they so tall? Right. Service cards. Maybe I have to specify the height as well. So maybe I want them to have a height of 100 px. I don't think 100 px will be enough. Wow. Let's get to the bottom of this. Let's try to investigate what is happening. Oh, so I get what is happening. What is happening is this is a flex and it's trying to match with the height of this image. So it's basically extending everything to the bottom, like, so it's aligned with the height of the image, and that's why everything is equally sized. So what can we do about that? Let me pull that up quickly. Service cards. The height 150 px did not work. Okay. So for the service card holder, let's see what row gap does, because row gap, I don't think is a row gap that is stopping this from being aligned properly. Okay. Okay. So this is our services section, and we're finally going to go to our. So we specified. We said we're going to have our home services and contacts. Now, when I click on this explore button, it should take me to the services section. As I said earlier, we have our services section right here. This is what makes that happen. We've wrapped our button. Where's our services section? Yes. So we have our hero button right here, and we've wrapped it. We've wrapped some link tags around it, and we specify that we want it to be directed to the services section when it's clicked. So when you wrap a button in some link tags, you're able to get the user to be directed to that particular section. So for my contact section, which will basically be my footer, I'm going to copy this as well. And I'm going to call it contact. So we have duplicate stuff here, but this is not going to have a heading. I think the contact section is also going to have a black background. So I'm going to start with the comment contact section. So I'm going to select it with the ID of contact, background, black. Visual Studio Code has the history of the colors we've been using today. And obviously you're not going to use this image, so I can take it out. In fact, let me get these ones out. Yes. Good. So we're not going to have anything there because we haven't placed any stuff there. So what do I want to do? I want to create 4 divs. So with 25 as we did earlier. Now for these 4 divs, I want to have some heading. So maybe an H3 will do. So contact. So let me do about, contact, social, and links. So the text isn't showing as usual because the color of the default color of text is white. So I'm going to do my contact. Okay, so I want the color or the text color to be white as well. And now we have our titles. So we may just want to specify some stuff. For our about, we can quickly place some lorem 50. Let's see how that goes. So we have, no, that's too much. Lorem 10 will do. Maybe some brief info about the company. I mean, about ourselves. So what do I want to do? I want to select the contact. Within our contact, we have some H3 elements and we want to start those elements. So I'm going to do a margin bottom of 20 px. And that should space everything out a bit. Now for our contact section, we want some padding at the top and the bottom because it's looking too skinny. So 40px 0. And now that looks better. So basically that's how footers are done. For our contacts, what do we want to have there? Let's see. You can copy this text. We can place a paragraph right here. We can do a +233 123. Basically, a telephone number 6789. Good. We have that down. I'm also going to specify that for this as well, the paragraph, we want it to have a margin bottom of maybe 10px. That'll be good. So we want some contact details, maybe the email as well. Example at example.com. And that's our email. And you can also have your address there and stuff. So Accra, Ghana. And now we're good to go. for our social side, we may want to have some links. So this is going to take us to Instagram. Instagram.com. And we have this attribute called target. And for target, when you do blank, what this does, so I'm going to write Instagram here. Instagram. That I suspect the text will be blue, as I said, and it's underlined, which we don't want. So we're still targeting some stuff within the contact section. So I'm going to change this to an A. I want the color to be white. I want no text decoration. So text decoration none, because I don't want it to be underlined. And we should have Instagram here. So now when I click on Instagram, it should open Instagram in another tab, because I use the target attributes and I specified that it be blank, which is right here. So we can do same. I think this happened because I forgot to do this. Now when we click on Instagram, it should take us to Instagram.com. But then you can leave your profile link and stuff, and it will direct people to your actual Instagram page. And so you can do same for Twitter and Facebook and stuff. And you can change the text as well to Twitter. And Facebook. And it goes on. Oh. Wait, what did I do? All right. So I'm going to use the BR tag, because A seems to be an inline style. Right. I want A to have a margin bottom of 10 px as well. So what the BR does is it creates a line break. And no, it actually that's not allowing me. So you know what? I'm going to create a paragraph, and I'm going to paste my Instagram there. Let's see what happens. Yes. So I'm going to do same here. P Twitter. Now I can take this out because it's now a paragraph. Oh yeah, I forgot to take out the line break. That's adding an extra line, which I do not want. So we have our social links there as well. And I think I'd want to borrow these links, take them to my link section. Make this home services. So I have to change this as well. So when you just do a pound sign or a hash, it just reloads the page, but it resets the page, so it goes back to the top. And for services, I want to specify the ID services. And for contacts, oh no, I seem to have messed up. Yeah, I think this is where I actually wanted to work. So home, my pound sign for home, services, my pound sign and services right here. And then I can copy this, paste it underneath, and do contact. And say contact here. So now let's test these. So home should take us to the top, services to the service section, and then contact. Wait. Yeah. So contact still leaves us as a contact. So home, explore, takes us to services, and we scroll down to the contact. So obviously we're done with the layout on the desktop. Let's see how responsive this site is. The nav bar will be responsive, but you can't see the same for all the screen sizes. So let's go quickly into tablet mode. So for tablet mode, with 25, and that is within our services section with 25. No, we made it with 50 instead. I want this to be increased. So I think for tablets, I'd want the image to go on top of the text. So let's do that. So service image, the width. Okay. So for services, right, I want to go right underneath and do a media query. So at media, just like we did in the previous video, max width, 768 pixels, right? And so what do we want to attack? Container, service heading, service container. So I think service container will be, it's actually the div that contains both the width, both the image and the cards, the service cards. So that will be a good div to target by its class. And I want the flex direction to change from row, which is the default, to column on smaller devices. So normally what happens is when I do 768, it starts from 767. So I'm going to take it up by 1 pixel, and that should work. Let me investigate to see what is happening. We have 100 right here. Good. Service container. No, so it's not being applied. So I'm going to quickly add an important, just so it actually works, right? So when this happens, what do I want this image to do? So for service container, I want the image within width 40. So service container is going to have an element with, and what do I want to happen to this image? I want the width to be 100%. So let me just verify that what I'm seeing is true. So service container with image. So in the browser, right, stuff doesn't want to get applied. So I'm going to use my importance just to emphasize on the fact that I want it to actually take up 100% of the width. Yes. Right. Okay. So service image, we specify the class of the service image. So I think service image is a better way. Let's get rid of this important and see what happens. Still is not applying. Good. So we can go back with that important and let's see how that goes. Wait. Image service image. And it's still not getting applied. Wow. So let's specify image. Why isn't it getting applied? Wow. Oh yes, width 40. Because of width 40. Okay. So within okay. We have width 40 right here and width 60. So now for width 40, service container dot width 40. I want the width to be actually 100 with 100%. I'm sure I can get rid of this now. The same for 60. So now let's see how that goes. So we have this. We have exactly what we wanted. Now for the service card holder, we want to bring it within our media query and take off all the padding because we don't need it at this point. And let's see how that goes. So now everything is in line. Right. So what we can do on this side as well, as you can see on the hero section, this image is going out of its boundaries. It's going out of its boundaries. So we may want to get rid of this image, or we may want the image to go on top of the text. So we have width 30 and width 70. So we're just going to scroll up to our hero section. I'm sure we have a media query for that. Yes. So I think I'll just copy this media query and send it to the hero section because we may want to have do a few tweaks there. Good. So we have our hero. I'm just going to replace all this with our hero styling. Okay. So now what do we want to do to our hero section? We just want to format the text in the right way. So we may want the text to have a width of 100% and the image as well. So I'll quickly borrow these two, place them here, and I'll replace service container with hero. And I think for the heroes 30 and 70. So let's see how that goes. $30 is now 100. And 70 is 100 as well. It actually works, but on a smaller screen, it looks a bit out of place. Good. So what I want to do to my hero section, so I have my hero container. So I'll just do hero container here as well. I'll go into my media query and do hero container. Now for my hero container, I want it to have a flex direction of column reverse. So what this is going to do is going to swap out seven, 6, 8. Right. So column reverse important. Let's see. Right. So now we have this image. So hero container with 30 dot image with 30 image. I want the image to have 100% width. So it's now covering the whole width of the screen. And also I want my text. My text is already doing that. Maybe I'd want to reduce the size of my text. So I'd come here, select this, send it into the media query. Paste it right here. And maybe change the fonts, reduce it because it's a smaller screen. And obviously, and maybe align the text in the center because we want it that way. And lastly, we're going to make this footer look good. So same for my contact section. I'm going to copy this media query. Send it right underneath my contact section. So you can have multiple media queries for different screen sizes because you want stuff to appear differently on the various screen sizes. So I'm going to select this again. Something like this. Go into my media query for my contact section, which is right here. So I'm going to change this to contact because we're still on the contact section. And I want my contact section to have a width of, I divided the contact section into 4 divs with an equal width. So contact flex with 25. So as we've been doing, I'm quickly going to change this contact section. I want to call it contact container quickly because I want to affect the flex direction. So period to select the class. Flex direction should be a column. Contact container. No, oh, my bad. I should go here instead. Should go here instead. Contact container. Flex direction, important. Yes. Or maybe on tablets, I want it to have a width of 50%. So I'd still keep the row. And let's see how that looks. $25 should have. I quickly want to copy this, paste it, change this to probably 425 or 426. And I want to copy this and paste it here for mobile phones. But for this side, I want the contact container to have a flex wrap. So flex wrap should wrap because I've specified that these items have a width of 50%. And maybe some padding just to space them out a bit. 0 on the top and bottom, or maybe just 10 px all around. Let's see how that goes. And obviously I want them to have a box sizing of border box, not content box, so they should fit. And on smaller devices, which starts at 425, I want them to have a width of 100%. So I'm just going to copy this, paste in this media query, specify that it be 100. Yeah, so okay. So I think I need to do same for these ones for the service cards. I'm quickly going to copy this media query. Oh, I see what's going on. So for service cards, we have some styling here. So service card is right here. Right. So we want our service cards on a smaller screen, which should be here. So I'm going to call the service cards class dot width 50. Right. No, service cards actually have a class of width 50 as well. So I want the width to be 100%. Let's see how that goes. Yes. So basically, hero button, right? No, what is left is that I styled the hero button to be in the center. Hero button. Holder. So going into my styling, I may want to go into the media query just to specify that the hero button holder be. So I didn't copy that. Hero button holder. Relax. I feel like I already did that. Yes. So I want it to be container instead. I want text align to be center. Let's see how that goes. So the reason why center works on this is because now it's wrapped around an A tag. I mean, it's wrapped within an A tag, and text align center will basically center some text, and that's been applied to the link tag, which is the A tag. So basically, that's how you make a fully responsive site. So let's see, we have our 1440, which is the laptop. So let me zoom in. And this is how it looks. We have our tablets. Before the tablet, we should have 1024. I'd wish that we styled this a bit more for the 1024 because it looks a bit messy. But this is our tablet mode. So 768, this is exactly how it looks. We have our image and we have our section, our contacts. I thought I specified, so let me quickly find section. There are no results here. Oh, I mean contacts. I thought I specified that contacts have a background of black, but it seems I did not. Wow. No. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Contacts. Background color of black. But that means everything. I thought I did that earlier. Color should be white. I may have cleared some stuff because I thought I did that earlier. Right. I'll quickly handle the links as well with some by specifying by directly targeting them, and obviously I don't want some text decoration none, so no underline there. And we have for our mobile as well, this is how stuff happens on the mobile side. So medium mobile, large mobile, they're all catered for. Yeah. So that's how this stuff works. That's how to make a responsive site that looks good on all screen sizes. But I quickly want to work on the 1024 because it didn't really look good for me. Let's see what we can do. Maybe the padding has to be reduced. So that's the services section, right? So I'll quickly use the inspector in the browser. So I called it service cards. Right. So let's quickly look for the service cards. Good. So we have some padding, which I probably want to get rid of. Yes, I think I made a mistake with my service stuff. So for my service cards, I want the padding to be 20, but not within the media query of 769 or tablets. I want it to be applied to small laptop screens. So media max width 1024px. Let's see how that works out. Good. So we have that sorted. We have that sorted as well. So now this looks good. So we have a fully responsive site. Now that I've fixed everything. We have that for the mobile, that for the medium-sized mobile, large mobile, tablets, small laptop, still fully responsive. Service contact. I thought I did some basic styling for the contact. Padding. I did 40 at the top and 0. Yeah. So I think this is better. 1440. So I'll leave the link in the description to the source code for this video, for this website. And finally, we've come to the end of this course. So thank you for sticking around. And if you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section. Try to go through the code, try to code along, and watch this video multiple times to grasp all the concepts that I talked about. So in the next video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the whole course. And thank you.